And still, good morning or good whatever is in your time zone. Welcome back to BSG Online number 7. We're still raising money for Mind. Links to donate can be found below the stream. We raised 1,400 euros so far, and I'm itching for somebody to destroy this perfectly fine looking number. And yeah, next up we got a reoccurring guest here. Ozmourn showed us the wonders of Antichamber yesterday, and now he's back with Lightmatter. So teach us all about this very cool game, friend.
Yes, hello, I'm Ozmourn. Welcome back to me and my runs. I've been fortunate enough to have BSG accept 2 runs of mine this weekend, and the second run I'm going to be presenting with you guys today is Lightmatter any percent, no major glitches. And it is the first speedrun that I really took seriously, that I started grinding down for higher times, and I'm very, very glad to be presenting it to you guys today. It's one of the runs that constantly reminds me as to why I am speedrunning and why I love doing marathons as well. So with that, if you're unfamiliar with the way this game works, it is a puzzle platformer, very akin to, say, Portal or Antichamber, or just that ballpark of games. And if it's a very underrated game of the genre, I highly recommend checking it out. It's $15 on Steam, USD, if I'm not mistaken, and there's also a demo that you can try out. And so I highly recommend doing that. And I'm gonna, I'm gonna be getting a little bit of tidbit information about and fun facts about the game as we head on. But the first thing we had to do is turn on the speedrun stats that is required in case this run PBs, and so it can be verifiable. And we're gonna turn on the developer commentary for later in the run, when we get to a specific trick that we're gonna do, believe it or not. And so with that, the timing will begin when I hit level 1. So it's gonna be 3, 2, 1, let's go. So the basic premise behind Lightmatter, and I apologize if my camera is just tilted every now and again. The basic premise behind Lightmatter is that the floor is lava except with shadows. All of the shadows in this game, if you step in them, they will kill you. With a few specific exceptions, not necessarily because those shadows aren't designed to kill you. It's just that there was some oversights on the developer's part and some kill planes that were forgot to be programmed, and so we're going to be taking advantage of that. And so in these first two levels already, however, there is no way for you to die. There's no shadows that you can properly step in. It's supposed to be a tutorial sequence where you teach the movement and the basic mechanics behind it. And as you can see here, already a piece of speed tech that I'm doing is just jumping upstairs. When you walk upstairs in this game, your speed decreases ever so slightly. And when you grind down the handrails of stairs, your speed will decrease, or your speed will increase. And so jumping upstairs and grinding down the handrails will have a little bit of a time save that'll add up consistently throughout the run. And in level 2, now that we've entered level 2, we are actually going to be introduced to our main antagonist, known as Virgil. He is the CEO of Lightmatter Technologies. He's that shadowy man right over there at the end of this room. He's very corrupt, and he's going to try to convince us that everything that happened here at Lightmatter Industries, this giant explosion, was all for the greater good, and that Lightmatter Industries is looking out for the greater good of humanity, when in reality, he is really just corrupt CEO. And so one thing that I like to do in this next room as Virgil is talking is actually, after this door closes, jump up here and touch this shadow right here, because it's a shadow. It's technically supposed to kill you according to the rules of the game, but it doesn't. Again, this is supposed to be a tutorial sequence. There is no way for you to die. There's no kill plane programmed in any way, in any location in this game, as far as I know, in these first 2 levels. So yeah, we're just going to be introduced to some basic mechanics, movement, pressing buttons, and we don't really get into the huge puzzle solving until level 3. It is simple, and this is the scientific wonder that is Lightmatter. We're going to be coming back to this specific section, or not this specific section, but we're going to be coming back to the core and Lightmatter as we go on throughout the game. And by that I mean, this is the end of the game, actually. We're just going to go up to the elevator, and we're going to go to safety, and the credits are going to roll right there. That's actually a world record by around 40 minutes. Zonorous, what were your thoughts?
GG, easy.
Yeah, GG, easy. It's a 40-minute world record. That's all you have to do. We're just going to go straight up to safety. Nothing bad's going to happen. Don't pay attention to the estimate. Don't pay attention to the death counter I have. It'll all be fine. So, yeah. Wait, are you kidding me? There is there's a bit of a skip here. It's a 1 in a billion chance. It's completely RNG, where it's actually called game skip. You can just finish the game right then and there and go up to safety. No one has ever gotten it. And it looks like we're not going to be looking at it today, unfortunately. It's a very rare trick, although we're questioning its existence, but we do believe it's there. We do believe it exists. Don't worry. But Lightmatter. We are going to now enter the first level that actually has shadows and can kill you. I'm just going to spam space so we can jump right out to this exit right here. And again, for the majority of the time, every single shadow in this game from here on out will, in fact, kill you. We're going to wait right here. 3, 2, 1. And then just jump across here. Perfect. All right. Don't want to mess up the timing there. Don't want to die in the third level. That'd be kind of embarrassing for me. But in level 4, we have our first skip. Essentially, what we're supposed to do is, bring the top bridge to the left, the bottom bridge through, and then do a bunch of puzzle solving with these top and bottom bridge movement. But if you move the top bridge left and then right and then left again very quickly, the top bridge will actually have a bit of a delay period, of a lag period, and you can use that lag period to walk across the bottom bridge before the top bridge covers it, and then you can just use the top bridge to get to the end of the level, like that. Right here, there's supposed to be a puzzle in level 5, but I just jumped on that platform that was sticking out, and so I actually don't know the solution to that puzzle anymore. Legitimately, I don't know. And then here in level 6, it is a cycle-based level at the end, but right here would you look at that, a death. Okay, as I said, it's a cycle-based level, but we also get introduced to lamps. Lamps are heavy and clunky, as Virgil is saying. And the reason it is heavy and clunky means that we cannot jump with a lamp in our hand, and we also cannot... I'm going to wait for the cycle to go through just to be safe. I probably could have gone... Yeah, I definitely could have gone, but I wanted to be safe. I wasn't sure if I had gone... I definitely hadn't gone the fast cycle, because all the cycles and all the movement in this game keeps going even if you die. It doesn't reset itself. But as I said, lamps are heavy and clunky. You move ever so slightly slower with a lamp in your hand, and you cannot jump with a lamp in your hand. And so we want to avoid picking up as many objects as we can, and only doing it when it's necessary. And right here, we're going to have our first glitch, which is lamp jump. Lamps have very weird physics properties when you put them on slanted surfaces. So we're going to put this lamp on a vent, and for some reason, it launches us really, really high. It actually launched me way too high right there, so I lodged the lamp into the vent way too well. There we go. Perfect. And then we just jump across that other end. You have to run to the edge of that container at the top in order to refill your jump, because for whatever reason, when you jump on the top of that container, the game doesn't think that you're landing on stable ground, and so it won't give you your jump back. And so you have to just go to the edge of that and then jump over the shadow at the top like I did there. Level 8, we get once again introduced to the core over here on my left hand side. It's very pretty. This is a very pretty game. And one thing that I always like to point out about level 8 is that there's no really huge skips. It is actually all intended, but it is very fast movement. It's very satisfying to do if you do it fast and you get good at it. And actually, that is one selling point of this game that I would really, really recommend going for the speedrun for. There's no RNG elements during this run. It is purely skill. Whenever you mess up something, it is your fault, and that might be kind of frustrating for some people, but for me, it is actually very, very nice to have a speedrun like that, because it means that whatever you mess up, you can improve. There is always going to be good stuff to improve. You're never going to lose time because just the game didn't feel like being nice to you that day. It is something that you can always improve and practice, which is something that I feel like is a huge W for a speedrun, a huge attraction point for a speedrun. And one thing that we do here in level 9 is a fast cycle. We're going to move this lamp, quickly turn around with this lamp in our hand, and there we go. We were able to get here before the mineral decontaminator closed, and we were able to, and by doing that movement, we were able to skip half of a cycle. And in level 10, we get introduced to the concept of leaving lamps in the dark when you place them. And essentially what that means is that the shadows will only eat up organic material, as the game says, meaning that they will only kill you. Anything else that's in the shadows that's not like a natural thing or not like a living thing will not like disintegrate or die or anything like that. So that lamp that we just moved on there, we shined it here on the corner and we left it in the dark while we moved this other lamp on that platform and moved it across, so that we can solve it and shine the lamp onto here. And if you see here, there's a little reference to a certain game with Virgil saying, Yep, there's a few Aperture Science Jab. There's a few references to Portal in this game. And I will be pointing them out when they have it. And it's all within the blessing of Valve, meaning that in my head, canonically, Lightmatter and Portal are in the same universe. That's what we like to hear. And actually, you probably saw me trying to get up on this area. What I like to do during this cutscene is just to get up on this area. There's a little bit of light on that ledge that I was able to use to jump over here. You're not supposed to be over here, but you can be. And those 2 deaths that I just took there, they didn't lose time, because whenever you die during a cutscene, the game will just respawn you, but the cutscene will keep going. So the 3 deaths that we have right here, it doesn't matter. It does not lose time at all. And again, the plot and the story is also another reason why I would really go and get this game. The person that is actually playing Virgil right now is David Bateson from the Hitman series. I had the privilege of interviewing him during a marathon run of this game one time, and I would highly recommend purchasing this game just for David Bateson alone, and Natalie Hitzel, who plays another character that I haven't mentioned yet that I'm going to mention when we get there. And so just the voice acting and the overall story and direction that this game has taken, I would definitely recommend picking it up for that purpose alone. Right here is level 11. It's another cycle-based level. There's really no way to speed these cycles up. You would think that there's a faster way to do some of these cycles, but there really isn't. Right here is a good example of this, where we get this lamp and then we move it over here, but the platform is already moved away from us. And so you would think that there was a faster way to get there so we can get onto this platform before it moves away. It feels like it's so close yet so far, but unfortunately there's no real way to speed up the cycles in this level. And I died. I jumped a bit too early, but thankfully it's not too hard to recover from this, because again, the only thing that happens when you die is that your position gets replaced, or you get your position gets moved back to a respawn point. It does not affect the overall cycles of the level themselves. Everything in the level will just keep going. The only thing that changes is the props you picked up and your position. Right here, we're going to retry level. It is a skip found by Rebel Rose, one of our speedrunners, and she found out that the point in which you load into a level and the designated start point for when you restart a level are 2 different things. And so if you actually restart the level right there, you get to skip a little bit of an elevator sequence, because the developers decided when a player wants to restart this level, we don't want them to have to watch that cutscene all over again, and so they just respawn you right there in front of where the puzzle solving begins. And we get introduced to the second character, that voiced by Natalie Hitzel. It is Ellen. Everyone say hi to Ellen. And Ellen, she is the voice of reason behind Lightmatter Technologies. And what essentially she's going to be doing through a series of tapes is going to be unveiling the truth behind Virgil and his partner Arthur's evil plans. We're going to see a lot of discourse between Arthur and Virgil here, and trying to have different goals for what Lightmatter should be. And overall, in that, Ellen will try to unveil the corruption that Virgil has been planning within Lightmatter Industries, and Lightmatter Technologies, and what Virgil is doing to harm others in the process of it. Level 13 is the introduction to this little underground area, and in level 14 we get an introduction to another skip, We're going to move this lamp onto here, bring it around 2 times so that we can have the lamp facing towards us. We're going to move the fan once more, and then we're going to stand on the very edge of the blade of this lamp, blade of this fan, so that we can move with it. If we moved a bit too close to the edge, the game would actually push us back onto the stable platform once the fan started moving again. And so if you're close to there, you can actually move with the fan and then just move the lamp in the direction that you want it to shine, and then solve the puzzle that way instead of doing it the intended way. It takes a few lamp placements and a good amount of time. So right here is the last tape of Ellen. We're only really going to be seeing her during these pinkish reddish tinted areas. And right here is where we see Virgil again. How did we get all the way over here? It's a good question. And why am I screwing up this movement right now? My goodness. Right here we make use of the cone of light that the lamp produces by creating a very large cone of light to light up both sensors right here and make our way through. There is a faster way of doing that level involving walking through a piece of level geometry that doesn't have collision. We have not decided if that is considered a major glitch yet, so I'm not going to be doing it in case that is a invalid trick. Right here in level 16 is another really good example of satisfying movement. And we're going to be looking backwards here and looking at the sensor, and we're going to make use of the fact that when you pick up... Ooh, that's never happened before. I've never died there. He said the thing! Look at that. But what I'm really doing here is I am just not good at this game today. Would you look at that? We're going to be, once again, looking at the sensor, walking backwards, and then we're going to make use of the fact that when you pick up a lamp, the light just kind of snaps forward in front of you. You don't have to turn it. And so we jumped into the light that the lamp produced when we turned it around and went into it before the door closes and kills us. And here is another example of you making use of the full cone of light by moving this lamp backwards and lining up both hallways here on the left and right side. With this lamp, you need to make sure it's always shining on this sensor when you walk forward, otherwise the door will close and Virgil will laugh at you and make you feel dumb. Alright, that's level 17. Level 18 will require... level 18 and 19 have the same skip. They're just made in 2 different places. What we're going to be doing is bringing this lamp over here to the left side of this room. Okay, we're going to take this lamp, we're going to shine on that sensor. Bring it around. We're going to line up this lamp with these power outlets here in the wall. We're going to shine it this direction, and it just barely shines light onto these tables to where we can actually jump on them and don't have to worry about dying. There's just enough light there for us to go there. And we're going to walk backwards here and do the exact same thing, shine the light on these tubes, just enough light for us to go through there without having to actually solve the puzzle. And right here, in level 20, we are going to make use of the fact that when you pick up a lamp, you don't actually have to be on the same level of height as the lamp. You can actually just, as long as you're within a certain distance of the lamp, within range of it being able to be picked up. And we're going to bring this lamp up here onto 2 different sections up on this elevator. Originally, the way to solve that is by lifting the elevator up and down and putting the lamp on it and using this lamp to, lift and lower the elevator through the sensor that you shine it on. But with that skip that we did just there, it allows us to skip a lot of back and forth. And this is actually the first level that introduces the concept of strafing with the lamp, strafing left and right and still looking at a sensor. We do it twice in this level, like we're doing it right here. We just keep walking as we point the sensor and keep it shining, as we point the light and keep it shining on the sensor. And for whatever reason, when they were playtesting the game, they found that a lot of casual runners actually couldn't really figure that out. They couldn't really figure out that you had to strafe with the lamp. I'm not sure if I couldn't figure it out or not. I probably couldn't have as well, because it's just not something that we hadn't been introduced to at first. And I'm very bothered by the fact that my camera is not pointing directly at me right now. Okay, right now we're gonna be in level 22. It is the biggest level of the game with the exception of the very last one. All right, we can adjust the camera here while we wait for this to come through. Okay, we didn't lose any time. Good. Ooh, now we did because I adjusted that lamp incorrectly. We're gonna shine this lamp here. Essentially, the way that this level was designed was through Legos. It allowed the developers to give a top-down perspective of what they want the level to look like. This bottom floor is 2 lamps on 2 platforms that run side to side, that run in 2 different directions. And this top floor is also 2 lamps, except it has 4 platforms that all go in a full rotation, such as this. And so it is 2 very similar puzzles. We are solving them the intended way. That's kind of the nature of like no major glitches. You're gonna see us doing things that are mostly intended, but just really fast. And you want to make sure in sections like these that your brain doesn't go on autopilot. For example, I spam left click in order to get in order to bring over the lamp that we place on the other platform. You have to make sure that the button is pressed twice, but sometimes I like to sometimes I manage to press it a 3rd time and have to wait for the lamp to come all the way over again because I just let my brain go on autopilot here. So yeah, as Virgil said, see you on the other side. We're going to ride up this elevator to safety, right? Except we won't because it crashes. Unfortunate. But we have some coffee to make us still feel better. Right here. A lot of coffee. Any coffee drinkers in chat? Zoners, if there's like a donation you want to read right now, you can.
Unfortunately, no donation at the moment, but maybe quickly remind everybody that the game that is coming up really soon, Crash Bandicoot 2, there's a donation incentive there for the language of the game, and currently German is winning by like a lot. So if you like to listen to your favorite Crash Bandicoot in not German, you gotta get your donations in sort of fast-ish, because that game is coming up in soon.
Well, we have Untitled Goose Game between then and now, right?
Yes.
All right. So you have around 40 minutes because we're about halfway through the run right now. And so get those donations in. So right here, what Ellen is essentially talking about as we do the bottom floor of level 20 backwards is that Arthur is trying to sabotage Lightmatter Industries and trying to overload the core, trying to backstab Virgil. And so we get that that kind of lore drop there. Right now, we need to turn on the developer's commentary and then turn it back off once we grab it. The reason that I did that was because there is a door at the end of this room. It is right here. It is now open. And this door usually will only open if Virgil says his line, and then once the line finishes, you can just go into the door. However, if you play with developer's commentary on and collect the developer's commentary, Virgil gets cut off, his line no longer plays, and so he can never finish the line, that trigger never happens. And so in order to avoid that, the developers decided, hey, we're just going to make it so that you can just go through the door automatically if you pick up the developer's commentary, and you don't have to wait through the whole thing. So that is actually a free 20-second skip given to us by the developers. And here we have an orb on a stick, or photon connectors as the game calls it, but I'm going to be calling them orbs from now on. These orbs will only shine light underneath you, a beam of light, if it's connected to a mother source. And you can actually connect another orb that is connected to a mother, that is not connected to a mother source, with the original orb that you have in your hand, and essentially triangulate a lot of the light like we're doing right now. And that's going to come in handy for a lot of puzzle solving and a lot of skips that we're going to be doing. Especially in this next level, we're going to be pushing the boundaries as to how far we can push these photon orbs. Right there as you can see, if a beam of light between a photon crystal and the mother source turns red, it means that that the connection between the two is about to break, and that if you do not let go or turn back right now, the connection will break and there will no longer be light beneath you and you'll die. However, right there, we really took advantage as to how far we can push the boundaries of those. We push the boundaries of those lights, and we were able to skip a few lamp placements and skip a bit of movement there by really pushing the boundaries of how far we can push those lights. As you saw there, those were very red beams. Right here, level 26, we're going so fast that Virgil is cutting himself off. Oh dear, I forgot to jump, or I did jump, but the game was just like, no. We're gonna bring this platform, we're gonna stop it about halfway so we can jump on it and ride it around here. Level 26, this is the first moving mother source, and we're actually going to take advantage of a bit of a skip here. In level 26, we're going to put this lamp right here. So at the corner of this platform, we're going to move this lamp all the way, bring it all the way to the other side of this fence, leave it right here, grind across this handrail, but it has shadow on it. Why didn't it kill you? The reason that it didn't kill you is because there is a series of points underneath the player's feet, and if the majority of those points are covered in shadow, the game is just like, yep, you're covered in shadow, and we're going to kill you right now. However, for whatever reason, when you grind across that rail, and only that rail specifically, the game doesn't register as enough points being covered, and it will not kill you, which is weird because the majority of the handrails in this game, if they are covered in shadow and you step on them, they will in fact kill you. I do not know why that one specifically does not. And again, we're gonna do a level 27. It kind of just looks like we're going in circles here because we are. There's not really any huge way to speed this up in level 27. But what we are going to be doing is bringing this last photon crystal over here, this last orb I should say. And we're going to bring this orb over here so that we can walk through this office space and get to the end level through level 28. Level 28 does in fact have a skip for us. First off, we're going to bring this photon crystal over here. Excuse me. Move this platform across. Pick up this photon crystal so that it connects with this one in this room. Move it across. Boop. And we're going to move this orb and we're going to put it at the very corner of this platform right here. As close to the corner as you can get it. Bring this last photon crystal over here. Bring the platform back, bring the photon crystal up, move this one across, and this is the skip that we're going to be doing here. We're going to push this beam of light right here and just barely have enough room to jump across that little little sliver of light that we saw there on the floor. And if you had a very keen ear on the left side of your headphones, at the end of that last level, you probably saw, or you probably heard, Still Alive from Portal being played on a little radio. It was just very soft, and it was very short, but if you had a keen ear, or just notice it a billion times like I do, it was playing in that room. There's going to be another Portal reference that we have here that I'm going to be explaining in another level, and that's pretty much the only 3 references that we have in this game. And right here, in level 29, there's not really a lot to say about it. It's a very boring level. It has some nice movement to it, and we have had reports in this level specifically where if you accidentally put these 2 photon crystals together, too close, the game, for whatever reason, will not let you pick it back up. You're soft locked, and you have to kind of restart the entire level. And so, even when you're being fast, you do want to be careful that you're not being reckless, and that you are not putting these photon crystals too close to each other. So, and I don't believe it could have been patched out. However, that is something that has been reported to happen in this level specifically, and so you want to be very careful with your lamp placements still, even while being fast. Yeah, in level 29 is just there's not a lot to say about it. There is a technical way of skipping some of the level with a glitch called, I forgot the exact name of it, but essentially when you quit to level and then you immediately press the menu button again and then select retry level, for whatever reason the game will tell you, will keep your position in the same level. You're going to be exactly where you were when you try to exit to main menu, but all the other props and everything in the game will go back to their original position. And so that allows you to skip certain parts of levels and bring certain props back to where they need to, so you can skip specific parts. However, since you quit to main menu and then decide to retry the level, for whatever reason the game thinks that you are in level 1, and so if you complete the level while in that weird state, the game will actually wrong warp you back to level 2. And so it's not viable for full game runs, but it is viable for ILs. And that is found by our glitch hunter Ralcor. Ralcor has done so much for this game, and he still continues to do so. I have no idea how he does it. There's just so much of stuff that he does for this game. It's absolutely amazing. And again, shoutouts to him. Right here in level 31, it's not much to say. There is a transition. It is a transitional level between 30 and 32. It's more lore, more cutscene. However, I will say that we have another instance of, actually, what am I saying? This bridge is going to come across, and we're going to walk across here. That is the exit of the building right over there. We're totally going to go to safety. This is where the run ends. That's it. Or there's no way that anything could go wrong here. There's totally not 15 minutes still left of the run or so. Except there is, because this bridge, of course, collapsed. You're right, Virgil. I should have handled it with more finesse. But how can a man handle a bridge with more finesse, I think we had a good amount of finesse in that. Wouldn't you say, Zonorous?
Seems like it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
not even sure how you finesse a bridge. But,
right?
What do I know?
Exactly. Quite clearly, we don't know anything, according to Virgil. But right here in level 32 is a very hard skip. We're going to, again, push the boundaries of how far we can push these beams of light without breaking them. We're going to be moving that orb right here. Moving this orb way over here. And we're going to be doing a bit of a safe strat by moving this orb right here. And then this orb back, so we have a bit of a straighter line between the connections. And just bring this orb right over here. And what I just did there, by pushing the boundaries of the connection between the photon crystals, allowed me to skip the intended solution of that puzzle and skip a lot of lamp placements. Right here, we are going to actually do a thing called rail grinding, and the rail grinding is you grind across the rail. That is literally what it is. It's self-explanatory. Rail grinding, although, is a bit harder than it looks because the game is constantly trying to push you off. It's not a flat surface. And so you have to balance left and right onto the left and right, because the game is trying to push you off in one direction or another. And we were very fast in that specific rail grind because the game, we were on a moving platform, and when you walk off the moving platform and start to rail grind, the game will actually conserve the momentum that you have from the rail or from the moving platform, and that will allow us to be very speedy with some of our rail grinds. We really only have 2 instances of that in the game, and we already passed 2 of them. Rail grinding was something that we did all the way back in level 12, but since I was too busy playing another skip, I missed that one, and so I was like, I'm going to wait for a better time to explain what rail grinding is, and so level 33 was the perfect time. Level 34 is another transitional level. It is a lore drop, and what I will say right now, huge photosensitivity warning. If you are prone to epilepsy, or just overall sensitive light, or if you're watching this in the middle of the night in a very dark room, turn down your brightness, look away. I will tell you when it's good to go back. The entire screen is going to go white. Very, very bright. Very bright. Okay. You can look back now. And after that overloading of the core, we see that shadows aren't actually as scary as we think they are. It's only the tar-like shadows that will kill you, but these shadows are perfectly fine. Whoever said we need to be afraid of the dark? There's nothing there. There's nothing wrong. But these shadows right here, these shiny shadows, as I like to call them, or the tar-like shadows, as the game likes to call them, these ones will kill you. Right here in level 35 is another level that we mainly do the intended movement. But what I will say about level 35 is that there is a third portal reference here. It's the last portal reference in this run. And what we have here, we're going to shine the sensor onto this light and bring it across so it connects with this lamp right here. And as I'm exiting out of this room, if you look left, you can see, if you were quick enough to look left, you could see a turret and a weighted storage cube from Portal in that room. I always have to be corrected that it is not a companion cube, it is a weighted storage cube. It is not pink, it does not have a heart on it, but there is a turret and a weighted storage cube in there. That is the last Portal reference of this game as far as common knowledge goes. Excuse me, what? Okay, wait, what? That was a really weird positioning of that orb that I had over there. I was very confused as to why it wouldn't connect. Because it needs to connect. You have at least two connections to the... have at least one connection to the orb at all times, because otherwise if you move it, the connection between the two will just die. Right now, what I'm going to do actually is an attempt at a skip called level 36 skip. It is very inconsistent, and if I don't get it in 3 tries, I'm just going to do the intended movement here. 1, 2, 3. Essentially what it is, we're going to bring this orb, we're going to rail grind across here, and sometimes the game... Oh, you know, I'm not going to count that as an attempt. It's okay. It's okay. I didn't even get to the end of the rail. Wait, what? Why, what? Why wasn't the lamp... Okay, that was weird. Did you see that? The lamp was just floating. Okay, that's very strange. Okay, the first attempt here. We're already wasting time. We're already going to do 2, I guess. Ah, okay. Okay, that was a... I will count that one. We're going to move across here, and for whatever reason, if you can manage to get to the end of this rail, sometimes the game will allow you to get lifted up onto this platform where the lamp is. Since you can't jump, you kind of just have to be pushed onto here. Yeah, it's right here. And if the game stops you like that, there's no way you can get back onto it. I've already wasted a good amount of time doing this, so I am going to be doing the intended strat now. But we have no idea what causes level 36 skip to work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Oh my goodness, there had to have been the smallest amount of shadow there in order for that to have killed me. But again, it was a lot of attempts there, and so we're just going to be moving on. We're going to bring this orb over here, off to this end right here, and bring this orb all the way to the end of this section. And we're going to bring the moving platform with the mother source back over here to where this lamp is. Excuse me, thank you. Then we're going to place it right here. Move across the connections that we've made with these orbs. And bring the mother source back to us. Time a bit of a risky jump. There we go. And now we can just shine these 2 orbs right here. Essentially what level 36 skip did is skip all of this, so we can just have an orb and a lamp on the other end of this like we have right now. And it essentially just gets rid of all of the puzzle solving skills necessary to complete this level. Alright. Level 37, piano keys. There's a lot of different ways to solve this puzzle casually, but we have a very specific way that we do it. That is the objectively fastest way. First off, we're going to be putting this photon crystal right here. We're going to bring this lamp over to the other side so that it can stay shining on the sensor that is moving this bridge over to the left, right here. Going to bring this orb right here. And we need to make sure that the connection between the 2 orbs across this hallway is not white, it is not red, but it is pink. You have the connection, you have the light between them be pink. And then we're going to move this lamp all the way to the other end of this room over here to the left. and we're going to slightly move this orb away from the connection of that orb so that it doesn't light up the sensor that's on the wall, and so the bridge will stay underneath us. It will not move. And with that, that's actually a way that we can skip some of the movement and lamp placements in a lot of the intended solutions of that level. And oh, what? I've never died there before. There's a lot of places in this game that I've never died for before that I'm dying at today. Right here, we're gonna do another retry skip like we did in level 12. And that allows us to skip what I'm told is a 2-minute cutscene for an elevator. So that's a 2-minute time save right there. But unfortunately, we do have to sit through another 2-minute cutscene of Ellen explaining to us how to shut down the core, and Virgil just kind of not caring about us at all. So Zonorous, if you have anything to say, you have 2 minutes to do it.
Awesome. Yeah, sure, that is absolutely no problem. So, hey, chat, friends, if you're watching this, there is a pretty decent chance that you enjoy BSG. And I'll have you know that currently the submissions are open for BSG Annual. And now you might be asking, what is BSG Annual? So BSG Annual is the week-long big event of BSG. Normally, BSG has these bi-monthly gatherings that only generally last a weekend, but BSG Annual is the one big event of the year for BSG. It is 1 week long, and yeah, the submissions for that is currently open. And now you might be asking, is it online or is it on-site, or what exactly is this? So it is currently not set in stone yet if it's going to be another online event or if it's actually going to happen in person again. Pray that it might. And yeah, since it's not quite decided yet if it's going to be on-site or online, when you do make submissions, you have the ability to choose if your submissions are meant to be for the online version or the on-site version, so that in either case you have the possibility to or that it's clear that if you only submit online, and if it's then maybe gonna happen on site, then you know, okay, probably not me. That was a little bit convoluted way, but I think I got the message across. And yeah, so like I mentioned, if you're a speedrunner and if you're interested in also participating in BSG, may it be online or on site, the submissions are open. You can find it on Wangus. Maybe there's a link somewhere in chat or so. I'm not sure if there's a command for it. Probably is, maybe. Somebody help.
Yes.
And yeah. Please, if you wanna come, or if you're thinking about it, please do. I'm thinking about going. I mean, I'll be submitting anyway, but hopefully it's gonna be on site. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And yeah,
Right.
Please submit if you're interested.
Yes.
More runners is always good.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much, Zonorous. Now that we've gone past that cutscene, we're going to the last level. This is the last level of the game. It's around 8 minutes long from that after that cutscene, or around 7 minutes if we're fast enough. And so, what we have here is a series of cycles throughout this last level, and it is actually only this biggest level in the game, and it's actually the only level that doesn't load in all at once. It loads in chunks, meaning that if you lose one fast cycle, you will not necessarily lose another fast cycle, or the one after that, or one after that, since they all load in chunks, are really not dependent on each other. And so you don't really have to worry about screwing up one and then potentially screwing up the next. Luckily, you get the fast cycle there. And this is all a huge escape sequence as we try to overload the different parts of the core. I always like to ask whose glasses these are. I hope they're okay. I hope they escaped before this explosion happened. Although, granted, they are probably dead, and because the shadows killed them. But again, this is a huge escape sequence. There's going to be a lot of photosensitivity warnings by me. because every time that I pull one of those levers and overload the core, there's going to be a flash of white light for a few seconds that will fill up the whole screen. This one isn't that bad, but I still will mention it just in case, and it's going to happen a few times throughout this last level right here. And at that point, it is the moment that Virgil finds out what we're doing. From here on out, he was now going to actively try and kill us by moving all of these stuff around in this area. And right here, we are actually going to go through all these different parts. Luckily, we did get some of the fast cycles here so far, and Virgil, for whatever reason, is very confused about our identity throughout the game. At first, we were a journalist, and then a health inspector, and then assistant, and now we're a spy, as Virgil is saying, because we only have an identity when it is convenient to Virgil. And in this next room, we have a really, really cool skip. It is once again found by our glitch hunter Ralcor, because Ralcor is just the thing that keeps this game running and keeps new stuff being found. Shoutouts to him once more. But what we're going to be doing after we following the fan of this room, we're going to be pressing this button right here. Excuse me. And then we're going to be shining across here, jumping across the pipes. And then that was very nice. For whatever reason, you probably saw that those pipes had shadows on them, but we were still able to stand on them. For whatever reason, the very center of those pipes do not have kill planes programmed into them. A little bit of an oversight. And luckily, we can take advantage of it through the speedrun. Here is a huge photosensitivity warning. Look away if you're sensitive to lights, please. Right now, this is going to be very bright once we overload this core. Yes, very bright. Virgil, you don't have to yell at us, please. And here's the worst attempt at a kill in video game history. So early, so slow. But luckily, we can just go through here. And what we're going to be doing in this next room is trying to avoid some of these ledge grabs by going through the corners, but also just do some corner cutting right here. And in this yellowish orangish room, we do have a skip, a very small skip that allows us to skip some platforming by grabbing onto the ledge of this container right here, and that will let us skip that section right there on the right side, saving around 2 seconds, 2 or 3, I believe. Oh no, I accidentally moved a bit too forward, but it's okay. We'll just move on to the next lift. Oh my god, so gruesome. So gruesome, Virgil, my goodness. Unfortunately, we did get a bit of a slower cycle because of that mistake that I made at the beginning. But here's another chunk that will only, the cycle of these lifts will only trigger once you get to this little section right here. And so there was a fast cycle that we had here that we thought saved time, but luckily it's now been proven to no longer save time. And so I'm very glad. Essentially, it's climbing on. Oh my goodness! And I still died. I'm dying in places that I haven't even thought were possible. My goodness. What is going on with me today? But essentially, it's jumping onto this platform right here before this lift covers it up with shadow. And going on to the one cycle earlier, but unfortunately going on to this lift will not make this lift cycle go faster, and so you will have to wait here anyway. And here we got one cycle, and we're gonna see if we can get this last fast cycle at the end of this hallway. Yes, we did, thankfully. And yeah, that is the end of the game. Time will come up soon, in about a minute. And as we go through this last lift, we see the man, the myth, the legend, the mountain himself, James, coming over here to supposedly kill us. as Virgil's implying. But fortunately, James now has a mind and heart of his own, and he has come here to shut down everything and help us instead of killing us. Alright, and with that, time will end when I hit the lever at the end of this hallway. As I'm walking down here, I just want to say thank you to everyone watching. Thank you to BSG for having me again, debut 2 of my runs. Thank you to Donners for hosting. And yeah, it was a very fun run. Time will end in 3, 2, 1. Now, let's time. That was a 47:58 in-game time. Could I get a word on what my final time was? RTA?
Yeah, if you give me a moment to let the stream catch up, it's 48:16.
48:16. Very nice. Very nice. But yeah, that was Lightmatter, any percent, no major glitches. I really hope that you enjoyed that run. Again, if you're into puzzle platformers, much like Portal or like the Antichamber run that I showed you earlier in the marathon, I highly recommend getting this game. It is very nice. It is very cool. Even if it's just for the plot or for whatever you like to play these kinds of games for, go buy it. It is $15 on Steam. There's a demo, and I highly recommend it. You can actually join the Discord, the developers Discord, through the main menu of the game. The speedrunning community is there. We're very small, so we do share a Discord with the developers and all the casual players as well. I always like showing off what we're doing there. And yeah, I highly recommend getting this game. Look us up on Speedrun.com. We want more people to run this game. We're a very small community. And if anyone is interested, I'd be more than happy to help them. Anyone in the community would be more than happy to help them. But once again, thank you to Benelux Speedrunner Gathering for having me here once more and allowing me to show off 2 really amazing games. I hope the audience enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to being a part of more Benelux Speedrunner Gathering events in the future, and hopefully maybe in person one day if it permits. And yeah, I have been Ozmourn. This has been Lightmatter, any percent major glitches, and shoutouts to the next runner, WDN 2010. And I hope that they do well on Untitled Goose Game. And thank you so much to Ghost Senpai or Una Fantasma Mas for trading spots with me. Unfortunately, I did have something come up, and he was very generous and have his run for Crash Bandicoot switch in the schedule. So thank you so much to him. Shoutouts to everyone in chat. Shoutouts to all the staff. Shout out to Zoners for hosting the run. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Ozmourn, and I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the rest of the marathon.
Well, I mean, well, shout outs to you, first of all. And secondly, you basically did my entire job here as for the outro. You said what's coming up next already, and yeah. You should be hosting sometime, friend.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Ozmourn mentioned, coming up next is some Untitled Goose Game. So hopefully there are some honk enjoyers in the chat. And yeah, we're gonna set this run up real quick. Short intermission coming up, just a few minutes, and we'll get to hear some honking. So please don't go anywhere.
All right. Bye.